Just waiting for the start of the session. Okay, the race should start in few minutes since the time has hit, at least for me, 2 p.m. Just waiting for some other people to come in here. Someone thought that that was equal. T1. Oh my god. I don't want to change the controller quickly. Just this is a bit. Okay. And Reggie has said that it's gonna be start, or the session would start. So we are going. Also, there's a few minute delay from actually as well. Right now, only 5 people have rated up, and as well, there's gonna be like 20 seconds. Been the what's it called? I don't know. Still flipping not like fully woken up. Oh yeah. But I agreed to do this, and well, yeah, it's like this. Why aren't people reading up? Okay, now people are reading up. And yeah. People are finally reading up. In every single team there is at least one driver, and the only 2 teams that there isn't 2 drivers are Alpine and Ferrari, or how we would, or how I would call it, Ferrari. Oh, Ferrari. But yeah, it's full quali, 50% race obviously. Um, yeah, like I said, there's gonna be about 20-30 minute delay, or delay, not minute, second, from the actual when the quali, like actual quali starts. Because obviously this screen comes up and then some people just not reading up, or reading up, like choosing their tires. But okay, Q1 is starting just about now, so um, I'm actually not full the lineup, but Reggie and Shaza in Red Bull, Coke is the only one in Ferrari, Lewis and Gemini in Aston Martin, Ted and Stack in the Williams, George and Jovi in the Alfa Romeos, Joker and Albo in the Mercedes, Hybe and Libya in AlphaTauri, Pete and Diego in Haas, Luke and Lamas in the McLarens, and Lewis is the only one from the Alpine team. So first driver is going out on track. Have to put the currents so that the sun doesn't. But the first driver is out on track. First one is Lewis, executing out of the second Lesmo. So he's gonna start. He's gonna be the first driver to start his lap, and hopefully he will be the first driver to finish his lap. And obviously you can finish your lap as well with invalid time, but just it won't go into the leaderboards. So then probably it would be, is that Pete? No, it's Diego who would be the second one. But let's take a look at Lewis's time or lap. Actually in DRS into the, and of course Temple of Speed, that's what we call Monza. So as Lewis gets heavily blocked by the Williams of Stack, which automatically puts his time won't be good. But then now is Diego exiting out of the first chicane, now into the Curva Grande. Obviously in Monza you want to have as low as possible the downforce. Yellow flags out of Parabolica. Actually it's not called a Parabolica anymore, it's Alboreto. There's a Ferrari and a there's a Gemini and Coke, I think spun, or maybe some kind of contact maybe as well, out of Parabolica. I'm just gonna call it Parabolica since people know that it's Parabolica and not Alboreto. And Diego, he has invalidated his time, so it's not gonna be valid. Who's it next? It's Lewis. No, it's not. It's Williams here. It's Ted, who's going to be the first driver to complete this lap. Out of Ascari. Now into the Parabolica, or focusing for the Parabolica. Of course you don't want to spin here, using all of the track outside, then cut into the inside. And it's gonna be 129.119. This is the first time on the leaderboards. Hype just 1/10 behind him, 121.218. Jogger, that's quite a big gap from Ted to Jogger. And Jogger is in the Mercedes. It's a third best car. Giovi goes into fourth. George fifth. Okay, to be honest, if these 3 laps had probably and at least George's time, they probably had some like mistakes, spin, or just been blocked. I don't know, but maybe just something happened on the lap, and the lap is now what it is. But probably on their second times, well, George is, I don't know if he's even on lap, but he's already improving by 3.5 seconds as out of the exit of the second chicane, gets on the power too early and spins into the wall. I don't think he has any damage, or at least we don't see any damage, but that's his lap, is probably his second lap ruined. Both Red Bulls, the championship leader Reggie and Shazza, his teammates, are already out on track. Reggie is gonna start his lap, so we should take a look at his own time, focusing into the first chicane. 352 kilometers per hour the top speed was, going very nicely, avoiding that curb on the outside. Now into the curve grande, using as low as possible the track as he goes a bit too much to the inside, and he hits the wall in the curve grande. But the chicane wasn't done nicely. Now into the first Lesmo, as he loses the car out of the first Lesmo, now into the second Lesmo, and he was a bit cautious from the second Lesmo, and he backs off of his lap. He knows already that his time just was, there were so many mistakes on his lap. Shazza is already doing his lap 26.112. The first sector, second chicane done nicely. Now into the first Lesmo. We don't want to do the same as Reggie did. He doesn't. There's an Alfa Romeo ahead of him, but he leaves space. Now into the second Lesmo, exit out of the second Lesmo. Nicely done. And the guy's open. Now focusing onto the Ascari. There's as well a Haas ahead of him. Hopefully he doesn't disturb his time. Exiting out of the Ascari. It was done pretty okay. I don't know. Yeah. Now focusing into the Parabolica, braking as late as you can, but as well going on the apex. And out of him there was a Haas spinning, but Shazza's time is going to 120.831, about a bit less than 3/10 ahead of Ted, Coke in P4, Lamas P7. Okay, so many people. I'm guessing many people's time behind, like Coke, or maybe joggers' times were just very bad. Albo goes into P5, 121.583, exactly 2/10 behind Coke. Or actually, I don't. Maybe like behind Giovi, Lamas, and George's time were messed up by their own mistakes. And Diego goes P8 with 122.481. Going onto the escape road, but obviously we know that in the F1 games since like 2018, you can't go there, you can't make it. As he as well damaged one of the barge boards, I think, or one of the sponsors. No, it was actually in the F1 barge board, but he damaged it. So he goes very weirdly on the track. As there's Luke, who's going, I think, slowly. No, that's from Diego. The yellow flags. Gemini invalid his time. There's Albo probably on his in lap. There's the AlphaTauri. invalid his time. Levy on his out lap. Behind, then there's Luke. Then behind them is the house of Diego. Then behind them is Stack. This is all about his time. Then there is Lewis, who is actually on his time, who is actually doing his time, but I'm guessing as well some kind of mistake happened on the lap. 124.991 puts him out of Levy but behind Lamas. The championship leader Reggie has just now exited the pit box, the pit lane. So Luke on a lap probably is. First sector 26.636. I know him there is a AlphaTauri who can give him a bit of dirty air and disrupt his time. But now he can get a good slipstream of him. Is Levy doing it on? He is doing it on, so Luke can't expect from Levy to just pull back. Both Levy and Luke are on 10 times. Luke gets a disruption of Levy, the dirty air, but as well gets a good slipstream out of him, which is at the same time good and bad thing for him, that Levy is ahead of him. But Levy goes 11th and Luke goes P7. Lewis 6 tenths, exactly 6 tenths faster than Shaza, 120.231. Luke goes P7. Levy goes P10. There's George, who goes P10, 200 behind Jovi, his own teammate, but I mean P10. And then there is Pete, who is finishing as well his time, goes P6 ahead of Albo, 121.531, which is a very good lap for a Haas driver. Then there is Lewis, I believe. Yeah, then there is Lewis, or as we previously know him, Ultra Aim, I think. Goes P6 ahead of Pete, 121.446. Then behind them there is Jogger, who's finishing his time, but 125.588 is not gonna. It's not gonna be even close to putting a good lap for him, or even like a improvement, because his time is 122.034. Then there is Reggie, who has just put in a time of 120.620. And I think there's George is on his in lap. Then there is Diego got 5 place grid penalty for the collision with Reggie. There might be as well the same for Reggie, might be. 4 minutes and 40 seconds to the end of Q1. As of right now, Gemini, Stack, and Lamas are on the chopping block of going out of Q1. Yellow flags out of Ascari and now out of the second chicane. Now in Lesmo. What's happening there? I think it was from Diego, but yeah. But Diego has 5 place grid penalty with collision with Reggie. It might be the same for Reggie for some kind of collision. Obviously we did not see it, what happened there. But I don't know. Stack goes P16, still on the chopping block, out of not going into Q1. I don't know if that's allowed, but okay. I'm not gonna comment on that. He goes P16, 122.698. 2 tenths behind Diego. Lamar Lamar's on his time. Probably wants to obviously improve his time to get into Q2. He's improving by 1.3 seconds. 1.3 seconds. Pete retires in the pit lane. Now, can Lamar find any more time in the Jogger has crashed out in the exit out of the Ascari, so that's him out as well from from the qualifying. Lamas goes P10. In the meantime, Coke and Luke have retired in the pits, but there's somewhere he was. Jogger was crashed out of on the exit out of the Ascari. So there's now four drivers on the chopping block, not going into Q1. Sheminai still yet to do his time. Shaza goes P1 two thousandths ahead of Lewis, but with oh god, I've just realized that there are two Lewises now, and both of them have F1 Lewis. Okay. Just under 2 minutes remaining in Q1. Luke, I mean, all of the drivers who have retired in the pits are feeling safe that they're going through. Sheminai on an out lap, probably wanting to at least do some kind of a lap. Has anyone improved his time? Right, no, I don't think anyone has improved his time. I thought that in the standing something have moved. Hype as well on the out lap. I don't know why. He's through. Diego's still out. He's still out on tracks, but he's not doing any like fast laps. Sheminai has started his lap, and Stack has not gone out on track to at least improve his time. So Diego, I think I can call Diego, and Stack are out of Q1. The only driver can go into Q2 is Sheminai, and George is in danger of not going into Q2. Out of the second Lesmo, it's a nice exit. Doors open. Now, probably trying to focus on the Ascari to do it well. We obviously don't see how much he's not improved. He's not going to be improving on his previous time since he doesn't have it. Ascari went really well. Now focusing into the Parabolica. Obviously we don't want to spin here. And now put the power down and just hope for the best. It's going to be 120. He goes P13, 122.107, and that puts George out of Q1. Diego is actually improving, but not by much. 7 thousandths. He as well does not have much ERS. He needs to find like 1.5 tenths out of this last sector. The DRS is not going to be ERS is not going to be good for him because he doesn't have almost any. And he stays P17. He does not improve his time. So that's Jogger, George, Diego, and Stack out of Q1. Hype as well, I think. No, he's not improving. Or at least he doesn't look like it. But please, if you go... as he spins out of the Parabolica, please go through the finish line, not into the pits. Good. Good. goes through the line. Obviously not including his time because he's spun out of the parabolic. And as well on this, as we saw on the sector 2, he wasn't improving, but Shazza goes fastest in Q1 out of Lewis, but just only 3 thousandths. Reggie 4 tenths behind Shazza, and Albo almost 9 tenths behind Shazza. Ted close to Albo as well, very nicely from him in a Williams. Hype P6, Coke P7, Lewis P8, Pete P9, and Lamas closing the top 10. And not going into Q2 are Stack, Diego, George, and Jogger, who has retired from in the exit out of the Ascari. And as well, Reggie did not get any grid penalties from some kind of a collision between him and Diego, which first championship is very good. But now we focus into Q2. Obviously 14 drivers only in here, so only 4 drivers can go out. Obviously more if like 5 drivers will retire, but that's heavily unlikely. I think was the first. It's the Alpha Tauri, but it's Hybe who is the first driver out of the pit lane. Then there is Lewis. Then it's Coke. Then it's Jovi. And then behind him is Reggie. And then behind Reggie is Ted. And behind Ted is no one, as of right now. But probably in a few seconds, Ted spins out of the second corner. Yeah. But yet, as of right now, nobody is going through. To see, sometimes could this camera be a bit better so we can see him? It doesn't look like he has any damage, but it was really weird how he tried to rejoin the track. Now some more people are going out of the pit lanes. Lebby, Luke, and now Albo, they have gone, and as well Lebby almost does the same as Ted. Hype is gonna be the first driver to start his own lap. So we're gonna go with him this lap, as there is Shazza who has exited the pit lane. First chicane done nicely. Gonna a bit on the sausage curb, which I would think it's not the best going through it, but some people may go differently there. Hype having the better first sector than Lewis by about 4 tenths. Now into this first Lesmo, nicely done. Then second Lesmo. Obviously we don't want to spin here or bog down, if that's even possible there. And now focusing into the Ascari, 53.546, his second sector. Lewis 54, 1 second slower than Hybe. It's like almost exactly 1 second. Now focusing into the Parabolica. He doesn't want to do the same as he did in Q1, end of Q1, but that's gonna be the time of 120.854. Lewis is gonna get 122.702. Coke gets a time of 121.0553. For Lewis, there must have been some kind of mistakes on his lap. Reggie goes P1, 120.282, And I think there was some slipstreaming from Shaza, between Shaza and Reggie, but obviously that's legal. Why wouldn't be? Uh, but yeah, some kind of tactics in here. Joby goes P5. Ted goes P3, just ahead of Coke in a Williams. No. Then it's gonna be Luke who's gonna finish his time 121.489. Puts himself P5. Some yellow flags in the second DRS. Then nothing happened, I guess. Leby finishes his time to go P7, 120.040. Then it's gonna be Albo. Well, it's not the best time, 134 into 124s. What's going on in the River Grande? Shaza goes P1, 119.994, and is the first driver to go into 119s in this qualifying. Gemini has invalidated his time. Albo obviously wants to improve his time. That time is going to be nowhere. Well, as well, he's probably going in. He's probably going on his in lap. Like I said, Gemini has invalidated his time. Leby not improved